Hello, I'm Ricky Sayer, and this is the Ricky Report for March 11, 2016. Today I'll be discussing the Student Council election, the prospect of your car being towed at Harriton, as well as showing the Ricky Report Sports Report. You may have noticed it today walking through Harriton's airy halls that it's campaign season here at Harriton, as today for the first time, those running for student council office have been allowed to put up posters. Now, I don't actually have the graphic about who's running, so I'll tell it to you right now. For President, Benjamin Barnett, Lorenzo Salone, Jordan Soffer, Hunter Point. For Vice President, John Diamond Rivich, Jake Rome. For Secretary, Ibby Maruka, Sonia Gronfeld, Eliza Barson. For Treasurer, Jack Mendelson, Catherine Liu. For Sergeant at Arms, Madeline Finger, Robert Cho, Fleming, and Davis Burden. Candidates will only be able to put up 10 posters. There is no limit on size, but they must keep it reasonable. Currently, primaries are scheduled for March 30th. That's when the amount of candidates will be cut down to 2 for all of the races, except for president, as 3 are allowed to run in the general there. Next week on the Ricky Report, as well as online, you'll be able to see some of my interviews in the president, secretary, and sergeant-at-arms races, as more than 2 people are running in those races. Sorry, everyone, I'm not running for office, as I told people a while ago. Now it's time for a Ricky Report's Rumor Busters. First, Mr. Ferguson is not trying to be our next principal. Second, incoming freshmen will not be getting Chromebooks instead of MacBooks. And third, next year, RAM will not be returning to our schedules. On Monday, the Ricky Report did air just in broadcasted classrooms for reasons beyond us. Here is one of my news stories from last Monday. The age of parking your car in the student lot without a tag ends tomorrow. Here is my report. For months, Harriton students have enjoyed the luxury of parking their car in the student parking lot without buying a parking tag. That ends tomorrow. That's right, all cars parked illegally in the parking lot that have received 3 warnings will be towed. I'm told the only way to get your car back is to pay a hefty $300 fine. Most of that money actually goes to the towing company, as the district has to pay somewhere around $250 to have each car towed. They obviously don't like having to pay that. I asked why cars weren't towed before, as in earlier in the winter. Why start towing now? And I was told that the person who was supposed to go out and give warnings to cars parked illegally did not want to go out in the low temperatures and winter weather. It's the cold truth. At last check, 30 cars were parked illegally. Now you could say, wait, I see these open spots. Well, actually, a lot of those spots are taken up by Lower Merion School District bus drivers who park there during the day when they're out driving buses. So you can see how there's a problem. But feel lucky, LM has far less spots for students than Harriton does. Instead, they have a pool. A parking tag costs $25. For the Ricky Report, I am Ricky Sayer. You know, in researching that story, I learned that you can get a car pass where you can, during the school day, you can get permission from administrators to go out to your car for 30 minutes and possibly drive somewhere as long as you're back in 30 minutes. Now since then, Now since then, no cars have been towed, but orange stickers are being put on cars to tell them they are getting a final warning before they are towed. Some people have told me that they're getting warnings even though they have a tag. Well, according to what I've been told, the only way that you can get a warning is if your parking tag is visible on the car. If it isn't, you get a warning. In addition, I've been told that the majority of cars that are getting warnings are BMWs. What that says about BMW drivers is up to you to decide. Also, the person who drives a motorcycle to school should find a place to put their tag in their motorcycle. Here's some video. I don't have that. Let's keep going. This year's Mr. Harriton competition raised a whopping $207.45 for charity this year. It's more than $1,000 more than their goal of $18,000. The amount of money raised this year is bigger than in years past, largely due to an increase in student standard ticket prices from $10 to $15. The change elicited some fears in council that not as many people would buy tickets. Well, it seems that there's be no need to worry, as Mr. Harriton sold out a week before the event. Every one of those 888 seats were full. Proceeds go to charities such as the Lower Merion Scholarship Fund, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and the Cookie Grant. By the way, congratulations to Emily Arnett at Lower Merion, as she became the first female to win Mr. LM. I hope to finish editing the full Mr. Harriton video this weekend. This week on the Ricky Report, I will be beginning to play a show within a show centering on Harriton sports. I'm calling it, as you could have guessed, the Ricky Report Sports Report. Starting out, Harriton Junior and basketball player Sophie Grady made the equivalent of an all-star team here in the Central League, as she made first team All-Central League for girls basketball. Alana Swift, as well as boys basketball's Will Espasto, received honorable mention. Espasto finished the season playing in 13 games in which he scored 205 points, with an average points per game of 15.8, ranking him as the 5th best player in the Central League. The boys basketball team as a whole this year got the Sportsmanship Award here in the Central League. As said on the Ram Report, a coaching shakeup is underway as 2 coaches are leaving the Harriton football program. The first coach is Coach Barr, who's been the Rams' defensive coordinator and has been on the coaching staff for the past 3 years. The other coach departing is Coach Troop. Troop, who is also a teacher here at Harriton, has been an assistant coach on the team for the past 2 seasons. Troop, I am told, is becoming a defensive coordinator at a different school. Unlike most teams, Harriton does not have its own offensive coordinator. Harriton physical education teacher Mr. Rothberg, a veteran of coaching football teams, has signed on to be a coach next year. Head coach Meller told me that he's excited for Coach Troop and Coach Barr's new opportunities and excited to welcome Mr. Rothberg, the now Coach Rothberg, to the team. Full disclosure, I received a varsity letter from the team last year for, quote, being their biggest fan and going to every single game and staying to the absolute end, even at the away games that are played in a tropical storm where the wind is so bad that rolls of tape are flying everywhere and camera tripods are being knocked down because of the wind gusts. That's right, I got a varsity letter for being a fan and a broadcaster, even though we never actually broadcast anything. The Rams quarterback for the past few seasons, Patrick Stewart, recently received a Minnie Maxwell Award for his high school career. Players were nominated for the award by coaches throughout the 2015 season and were evaluated on criteria that includes football performance, academics, and community service. Stewart and more than 50 other award winners were recently honored at an awards dinner held in Drexel Hill, which was hosted by Maxwell Club president and former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, the great Ron Jaworski. Stewart, the Rams' offensive MVP this past season, finished his football career with 4,268 passing yards, which places him 6th on the all-time Central League list and 2nd all-time at Harriton. And finally, Harriton senior field hockey star Laura Lasbrigada has signed on to go to St. Joseph's University next year. Lasbrigada holds the Harriton school record for saves in a game with 36. She said that I am excited about joining the positive atmosphere of the growing field hockey program at St. Joseph's. The coaching staff has been extremely welcoming and supportive. That's this week's Ricky Reports Sports Report. Camera 4. Okay, by the way, Patrick Stewart has signed on to go to a college for lacrosse. Expect that segment every week here on the Ricky Report, even if my show is preempted for advisory announcements or it just doesn't air like what happened last week. In that case, you can always find it online. You can also rewatch that sports report on the website I created last Thursday, rickyreports.tv. Again, it's not rickyreports.com. That website's already used by someone in Japan. Again, the website, which has not a lot on it yet, is rickyreports.tv. I will be embedding my videos on there, of course. Speaking of that that site, you can see my interview with HHS-TV special correspondent Eitan Ginsberg about Science Olympiad, and a video I did about Apple's fight versus the FBI, and a few other things. That's going to do it for this Ricky Report. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at HHS-TV, I am Ricky Reports. Have a great rest of your day today, and an even better day tomorrow.